All right, there you go. A little bit better. A little bit better. So basically,
Can you hear us?
restarting. What we're going to be doing is, if you're new to the stream, we have a few different things that we're going to talk about. So we're going to be talking about, is there a good time to buy a motorcycle, budgeting for a motorcycle, and we have another comment from the Discord. So I know you guys can hear me now that I fixed it all up. So we're going to go over a few topics. Hey, look at that. Hey, how you guys doing? So we're going to go over a few Okay, so how it goes is the first couple 20 minutes or so, we're going to be just answer or kind of going over the topic, and then we're going to go over the chat how it's like this. So then we'll answer some of your guys' questions. So that's basically how it goes. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I'm going to get out of here. It's good to see everybody in here. Thank you for the support after the ride.
Munchies with Matt.
Yeah, Munchies with Matt. That should be your new channel. Screw it. So first of all, the first one we're going to talk about as the topic is there a good time to buy a motorcycle? And that was something that was brought up in the Discord. And I think it came to the aspect of, and I put some bullet points here, is like, at the end of the month, is there like a quota that people have to, like salespeople have to get, or shops have to get? Is there anything like that, or is it just a matter of I want to sell as much as I can, so I can sell as much as I can?
Yeah, I mean, dealerships absolutely probably have quotas. I know the car world does that a lot.
Hmm.
Like last day of the month at the car world, they're just trying to stuff as much as they can in there. And I would imagine some motorcycle dealerships are like that. Quite frankly, if you come in on the 1st or the 14th or the 23rd or the last day of the month, I want to sell it just as fucking bad. So, I mean
Yeah.
that's the simple fact of I mean it's business and I absolutely need to sell motorcycles in order to make a living and keep my job and all that shit. So,
So even if it's
um,
like a Monday on like the fourth day of the month, you're just like, screw it, I still need to sell. Or like
yeah,
Tuesday,
yeah,
you're off on
yeah.
Mondays.
So I mean, I don't look at things that way at all.
No?
So I mean, you talk to me on the first day of the month or the last day of the month. I want to help you just as much. I want to sell that bike just as much. I mean, it's I don't know, but that's just me personally, and I'm sure a lot of people feel differently about it, and I'm sure a lot of dealerships work differently about it.
Yeah, I mean, like when I went to go buy a car, like I looked it up on like when's a good time to buy a car, and there's like all these different tips of like, do it at the end of the month. They're trying to sell everything, or don't do it in December, or do it like in July or something like that.
Huh?
Just some weird stuff online. I think a lot of it might be misinformation, but what you're saying is just I want to sell you something, so if you want to come in, just buy
Yeah, man. There's not a
it.
fucking day I don't want to sell somebody a motorcycle. It's I mean, shit. It's fun and it's great and it's a good time and I don't care what day it is. So, I mean, that's just the
Well,
way it
well,
is. So,
shoot.
I'm never gonna tell somebody I'll make you a better deal on the last day of the month. Like if I can make that fucking deal on the last day of the month, I could probably make that deal on the first day of the month.
Okay, so
You know
like
what I
if
mean? Like
somebody,
it's not.
so if somebody's like you're at the dealership, like let's say a different dealership, you're at a dealership and it's like closer to the end of the month, and they've come out with the whole, well, since it's the end of the month, we can make you a pretty good deal, trying to keep you to stay in the shop.
Yeah, I mean the only time that would be relevant really is if they get quota bonuses. You know what I
Ooh.
mean? So like
Mm-hmm.
if and I guarantee there's dealerships out there that are like that. So I can't. You guys got to understand that I can't speak for everyone.
Yeah.
So if there's a dealership out there that they got to sell 300 cars or I don't fucking know, but they got to sell 300 cars and they're sitting at 299 on the last day of the month. And if they hit 300, they all get bonuses. You better damn straight understand that they're gonna do whatever they can to sell that one. So if you're
Okay.
that guy and you know that, then you could get a good deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. So
So
okay. So I
that's a
mean,
tough one.
yeah, that sounds like a tough
But
one.
yeah, for
I have
me,
no idea
man,
how
I
to
don't give a
answer them.
shit when y'all buy it, just as long as you guys want to buy it and you buy it for me. So,
Yeah, buy it from Motos with Matt.
yep, yeah.
So like one little extra thing that I kind of like picked apart that question. I usually get like a few things on a question is that So like can you get like a good deal? Like let's say the new 2020 stuff came out. Would I be able to like haggle down to 2019?
Yeah,
Or is it just like, hey, that's just what it is?
I think it's I think across the board, whether it's cars or motorcycles or RVs or whatever the fuck it is, if it's
Hmm.
the last year model and it's not a current,
Yeah.
that there's deals on those, whether they're from the dealership or they're from the factory. Um, so, like example for Indian, if you come in and you want to buy a 2018 Roadmaster or a 2019 Roadmaster,
Hmm.
on 18s, they have trade-in incentives or super cheap
Oh, okay.
financing,
So they'll have
and
like
they
deals
don't
like
have
that.
that on 2019 models. So it gives you an incentive to look at the old stuff, or the not the old stuff, but the older model. And then if there's nothing that 19 has that makes you absolutely have to have that one, then fuck
Hmm.
it. I mean, you could save some money.
Yeah, I was gonna say sometimes going from like one year to the next, the only thing they really change is maybe a paint scheme and then like maybe a few other just minor things. But I mean, if you go from 5 year difference, like the
Oh yeah, 5 years way different.
yeah,
But for example,
yeah,
so
for
18s to 19s on Indians, they have a rear cylinder deactivation. The 19s do. So if it gets
on the
too
scouts
fucking
too,
hot,
or is it
no,
on
just
the
big
road?
bikes.
Yeah,
If it gets too hot in the summertime, then it cuts the rear out if you're at a stoplight or in traffic or whatever. And
yeah.
then when you put it back in gear and you go, it engages the rear and then you're gone. And then it's got sport mode or touring mode. Um,
So there really is a big difference
so there's some
sometimes.
pretty big differences
Yeah,
between 18 and 19. Um, but the 19s have gone up in price. So I
yeah,
mean 18s, I mean there could be a shit, $4,000 swing,
yeah. So I mean, if you didn't
three
care
thousand
about all
dollar
that
swing.
extra
Yeah,
stuff,
yep. If you don't need to worry about any of that, then man, buy an 18.
yeah, that's pretty cool. What's up, Adventures with Nimby? How you doing? Dan Shay, Nikki, how you doing? Bob Easy. Um, no, that's really cool. I remember when I was riding the demo ride, I saw when we stopped at the lights or stopped at the stop signs that it showed like the two cylinders, but then it showed like an X over one.
Yep,
So that was pretty cool. Anyways, that was just my little thing because I have nothing else to input on that one. That's all you.
you're right.
Uh,
Nothing else to input. Good job.
Shut the fuck up. The next one we're going to talk about is budgeting for a motorcycle. So that was a big comment, and it kind of went off of hey, I'm 18, I want to get a motorcycle, but like how would I budget for it? And a lot of it was for should I budget gear, should I budget for the bike too? And I always say budget for the gear with the bike. So I always say add an extra 500 to $1,000 to it. But then it started getting even more because I like to dig deep into these questions. So I'm thinking like, how would you budget for? I mean, you get the sticker price, but then when you leave the door, it's obviously different because you got to pay taxes, you got to
Right.
pay all that stuff. So how? Because I remember as a kid, I went in and I wanted to buy a computer. This is a pretty embarrassing story, but I wanted to buy a computer, and the sticker price was like $799. I walked in with 800. I was like, I want to buy it, and they're like, you got taxes too. I'm like, shit. So like, I was young, but there's people out there that might not know how to do that. This might be their first vehicle or something. So I mean, what would you think about like walking in? Let's say it's just say $10,000 for a bike. How would you walk in, and like what would you recommend people to walk in with, like how much?
Uh,
I know it's a pretty old generalized statement because there's a bunch of different variables, but
yeah, man, that's too. I don't know. I mean, bring all the money you can. No, I don't. I mean, that's why it's so nice for people to go into the dealership and talk to them before they actually fucking buy it.
hmm
So you can have a better understanding of, what it's going to take with registration and title fees and sales tax. And then if it's a new bike, there's, other fees on new bikes and such like that. So it's beneficial to walk in there, kind of do what you do
hmm
if it's your first dealership. If you don't know this, it's probably one of your first dealership visits regardless.
yeah,
And that goes back to one of our previous videos
hmm
of about buying a bike from a dealership and
yeah,
kind of
yeah, yeah.
what to expect. And you go in there and you hang out and you talk to them, and then you get to the point where you're talking numbers, and you don't even have to be ready to buy. You could just seriously say, hey man, I see the bike is 9 grand. I know there's sales tax and some other shit. Can you give me an idea of what it's going to take out the door is the big number,
Mhm.
or the thing that people say. And then you can kind of sort it out and see exactly what it's going to take to get it there. That way, when you are ready and you know what to budget for,
Mhm.
and then you could look at fucking helmets and jackets and all this other shit that you're gonna need,
Mhm.
and then you have a complete idea of what it's gonna take to get exactly what you need. And at that point, you can lay the foundation for how to budget it,
Yeah.
or you just finance it and let the bank budget it for you. You just
Yeah.
pay,
Okay. So like
you pay that.
for financing, it's like I walk in and I got like $1,000, just whatever down payment, still comes out to 10 grand, and we're out there signing paperwork. I mean, somebody says here dealer fees, like a
Yeah,
destination charge.
totally.
Um, that's kind of freaky for me. Like, I mean, I have like 10 grand. This is what I feel like I can afford, but then all of a sudden it comes out to like 12, and I'm like screwed. I feel like I'm screwed. So
Yeah.
like with financing, like interest rates and stuff, are car interest rates different than motorcycle interest rates?
Yeah,
And
so in the car world, I mean, there's 0% financing on cars like nonstop. And the reason being is that there's so much competition out there, and then cars are still, they're necessities. And
yeah,
motorcycles are considered luxuries in a lot of ways, to where you don't need them, even though we do need them.
heck yeah.
So sometimes rates are a little bit higher, but man, they're not that much higher. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I would. There's a lot of different avenues you can take. If you bank with somebody else, you can go in there and see what they do as far as motorcycle loans go, and then you
Mhm.
talk to the guys you talk to guys like me at the dealership, and you say, hey, what's the best rate available?
Yeah.
Saying that I have perfect credit or whatever it is. And then I could just tell you what it is, and then you can kind of do some math at home. There's fucking loan
Yeah.
calculators and stuff like that, and you can kind of get an idea. Or just ask me, and I'd say, yeah, you're probably around here, with this much down, with all your gear and stuff like that. This is what you're probably looking at, and if that works, then we do the application and all that
Mhm.
other shit. So there's ways to do it, and it just honestly, if they go to the dealership and talk to them, and then do some homework, and then watch our videos and shit like that, they'll have a
Yeah.
better idea what to do. So.
Yeah. I remember I had to like call my insurance to put the bike or get a quote at least for that. So that's like something extra that I had to do.
You
Um,
have to have
have
insurance.
to have insurance. So make sure you guys, if you're gonna look at a bike, call your insurance company. It's easier just to call. I have the Geico app, and I tried to do it over the Geico apps, and I was like, screw it, I just called, and it was simple, super quick. I just had to get a VIN
Yep.
and all that stuff. But that was basically when I decided to get the bike. There's no like crazy hidden fees, like anything like all of a sudden they'll pop up. I mean, there's that dealer fee, there's the dealer destination fee, right? That's like roughly depends, about $500.
Yeah, it's all based on like what the factory
Oh,
charges.
okay.
You know what I mean? So those are legitimate fees, and some dealerships charge certain amounts, and then some dealerships charge you exactly what the factory charges. The dealership to
Mhm.
get them there. And then some are exorbitant, and where they're just way more than what the factory even charges. So, yeah, there's usually destination and like setup, and then dock fee.
Doc fee. Oh, the documents.
Yeah,
Okay.
documentation fee. So those are all kind of general dealership fees, that most dealerships have. And then there's some bikes that don't have that, and then there's some that do. Yeah, grand for freight. I mean,
He bought a Harley.
oh, Dan, you got to come see me, man.
Yeah, come on down here. I'll get you a.
Anyway, so no, freight's probably, it's clearly a long way to you, Dan, from Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So.
So the what was it the dealer fee and all that? I asked some questions. I was looking up. I was like, man, why does it cost so much and all that stuff? So when you guys get the bikes, like for some reason I just assumed they're all freaking put together. Everything's fine. You just roll it out onto the floor. When you guys get the bikes, you have to actually do a bunch of work. I mean, there's no fluids in it, so you have to put fluids in and all that stuff. Or
No, they have some fluids in them.
is that why we have to bring it back in
When
within
they're
500 miles?
Yeah, so when
Okay.
they're brand new, they have like special break-in oils and stuff like that.
Okay.
And that's why it's so important to get that shit out during the first service. But that stuff comes from the factory, so they have fluid in them. Some don't have all the fluids in them, like brake fluid and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Sometimes we have to put the brake fluid in. Um, so but they come in crates, and some are more assembled than others. Some
Mm.
are like fully disassembled and they got to be put together. But
It's almost
some,
like a bicycle from Walmart.
yeah, and then some you have to just roll out. You put mirrors, handlebars, tighten everything. But they go through the entire thing, front to back, for setup and stuff like that. So, um, so I mean, it's like a half a day process for a lot of like big bikes and stuff like that to get them all situated and ready to rock
That makes sense for the
for
charge
delivery.
because then you got to
So
pay the guy to do it.
yeah, so it's that's some people charge more and then some people charge less, but it's legitimate. Like, the service department bills me
Yeah. Oh,
to
okay.
get that done. Because they're working back there, so it's legitimate, and that's just kind of the way it is. But some don't require as much prep as others, but the big bikes, they have a lot of shit, and then they
Oh
go
yeah, I
through
can
them,
assume.
and then they torque down a lot of stuff. They make sure everything's good to go, and then they take them for test rides after they're done to make sure everything's good. And then software, a lot of it is software, so they
Oh
get plugged
shit.
in the computer and then fucking download all the fresh software and stuff like that. Like,
That takes a while in
that's the
itself.
problem with the new stuff, is that it's all technology based and there's a lot of shit going on, so that takes time and effort also. So
Cool.
yeah.
Damn. There's a lot that goes into that.
Yep.
That's, that's pretty cool.
But for the guy who's just going to the dealership and they don't think of those fees, because I mean, we get legitimate. We get people that say, well, why the fuck do I have to pay destination if it's already
Yeah.
here?
Yeah.
Well,
I was kind of like that, but I didn't say anything.
yeah, I mean, well, it's because I mean, that's just something that gets incurred to you sometimes. So, yeah, man. I mean, it's they charge us destination. If you want it, here it is. And then freight or prep. I mean, you got to have it built. You
Yeah.
can't write it. So.
Can you just ship it to my house like disassembled?
Yeah, good luck. I mean, your warranty is probably not going to work. Unless some Joe
I don't want.
Schmo off the streets putting his fucking bike together.
I don't want that expert assembly that I
Right,
get with
yeah.
with all that shit.
I'm only on 2 wheels.
I can make it work.
No big deal.
Shit.
Dipshit.
So the next thing, this was actually a full-on comment. I don't think it was really a question, but well, actually, yeah, part of it's a question. So I'm just gonna read it out loud. I got this on the Discord, so if you guys are wanting to check out the Discord, I can put a link in the description. But I think all of you guys are here. I think include when to walk away from a deal is a good topic. I'm sure Matt's business practices are good, but there's a lot of people out there who feel pressured to buy even when they aren't getting what they came in for. Talking about a friend, totally not me at all. So people get pressured. Like, do you think? I mean, it obviously happens. You can't, like you said, you can't speak for anyone else.
Right.
But I could totally see like that used car salesman thing. Like, oh, don't leave, just come back, and pressuring somebody
Totally.
into
No, that
buying a bike.
that absolutely happens in a lot of places. It happens in the car world a lot. I've bought a lot of different vehicles, and I know how it feels. So, how
You've been talking this whole time. I'm like eating nachos and shit.
how I run the shop is kind of based on how I want to feel if I'm sitting on the other side of the desk buying the bike
That's
from
good.
me. And so that's how I do things. And so if I don't feel like I would enjoy fucking buying a bike for myself, then there's a problem. So,
That's good.
no, man, I don't. Here's what everybody needs to understand is that they can't put a fucking gun to your head and tell you to buy it.
Okay.
Like if you need time to dissect things and think about it, you have that luxury. Like, you just fucking leave. Like you don't be afraid to walk out. If you feel like they're pressuring the shit out of you and it's like aggressive and it's not good, then just go away. Like leave.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then call the next dealership over and try them out. Like don't be afraid to walk out the door. Obviously, it's beneficial to buy a deal, from a dealership that lives in your same town, but if they act like that, which I mean, people do,
I
then
mean, you're spending a lot of money on
yeah,
something.
totally. Spending your hard-earned cash, like you could
Yeah.
absolutely fucking leave. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So, the big thing for dealerships is, and this goes back to our other video, is that if it's a good dealership, they're trying to figure out what exactly you require in order to purchase the bike.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, if there's something holding you back and you're not telling the dealership, how the fuck are they supposed to know if they could help you? You know what I mean? So if you come in the dealership and you want to buy the bike, and we're going over numbers and such, and you say, okay, well, I gotta go, or I'm not gonna buy it, and I say, well, what's holding you back? And you don't give me any answer. There's nothing that I can do in my office to try to figure out what I can do for you to make it work for you.
So it's good just to be honest. Be like, you know what?
Fuck yeah,
It
man!
might
You're
be
making.
embarrassing. It might be
Oh my
embarrassing.
God,
Like,
man! Yeah, you're right. It could
'cause
be
it's a money
embarrassing, but I
thing.
don't give a shit. Like I'm not gonna
Yeah.
say, oh my God, you dork.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
Like, so if you could be honest, and hopefully you've created by now some sort of rapport with the guy you're talking to where you can be honest
Mhm.
and it's okay with you.
Mhm.
Not everybody's trying to fuck you.
Yeah.
That's not how it goes. So there's dealerships out there, but you pick up on that vibe pretty damn fast. So if the if you're comfortable with them and you're trying to figure it out, I mean these dealerships, I mean there's so many different ways to way we can make things work financially for folks. We just need to know what the real issue is. So if it's if it's the monthly payment, then let me try to find a remedy. If it's the down payment, let me try to figure out a solution for that.
Yeah, because like sometimes like I can afford $200 a month. I can't afford this 250 or
Right.
280.
And so just fucking tell me, and
Yeah.
then I can see what I can do to figure that out. Whether that's discounting something or getting a longer term,
Mhm.
instead of a 5 year, we do a 6 year. It drops your payment,
Yeah.
and it's flexible for you. Or is it the right fucking color?
Yeah.
Like,
some colors cost more.
and they're not giving me shit, but it's because they don't like the damn color. And they
It's
could
like,
have
just
just said,
tell me
I
that.
wish it was red, and that's it, man. Like that's it.
It's like, we can
I'm
make it
sitting here,
red.
trying to figure it out. So just you can try to be honest with folks, but don't feel afraid to walk away. But try to if you've gotten to this point, try to give them the real issue, the real problem, and the real solution, and let them see if they can do it. And if they don't, then you
Mhm.
can still leave.
Yeah.
You can still walk away and get out, and then take some time to digest things. Maybe shop a different dealer. Whatever
Yeah.
you got to do to figure it out. And
That,
then if another dealer's, willing to do it, then call those guys back and say, hey man, is there a reason why we can't come up with this? Because they can do it. Why can't I get there here?
Mhm.
And then maybe it's different. Maybe they have something else on the bike that doesn't make it work or whatever the fuck. Like car dealerships, they're notorious. Car dealerships will take every vehicle on the lot and they'll put window tint and like door trim, or like some weather seal, and
Mhm.
it's like $600 fucking. So
Mhm.
if you're shopping a price and it's $600 apart or whatever that is, if that was the issue, be like, hey man, they were able to do it. I'd love to buy it here. Why can't you guys get that done for me? And then they're like, well, comes
Yeah.
with fucking tint and door trim shit, and we don't do that here,
Yeah.
or whatever. I don't know, man. Every dealership's different. It's weird. Motorcycles don't have that same stuff, but
Yeah. Definitely. I guess like shop around, because I know when I go in, every single time I went in to go get a bike, I wanted to get it that day.
fuck yeah.
So I went in got my Sportster. I was like, I want to get a Sportster.
What
This is
about a
what I want.
Sportster? And those guys probably hit you in the head with a hammer.
$999 freight charge.
Yeah, and then $1,000 for setup and a $700 dock fee, and then sales tax, but we'll deliver it for free
Yeah, there you go.
because you're right down the goddamn street. So anyway,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that happens, and then you bought a warranty and all that.
Have
other
you ever
stuff,
told
so.
somebody like, "Hey, it looks a little like you're on the edge. Do you want to take a day?" Have you ever told anybody that?
I
Or
told a guy last weekend not to buy the bike because he didn't look like he liked it.
really?
Yeah.
And that's pretty hard to do when you're trying to sell bikes.
Yeah, man. I mean, obviously I need to sell bikes in
Yeah.
order to make a living.
You
But
want to do it the
I
right way.
almost don't look at it that way because I don't want to, the guy was picking out a lot of different, it was a used bike. So it had some miles on it and some scratches and shit like that. And so he was picking out everything wrong with it. And I just got the feeling that it wasn't the right one. And I said,
Yeah.
look, man, this isn't the right bike for you. And I would suggest looking for something else because
Yeah.
the last thing I want to do is sell you a fucking motorcycle and have you back a week later not happy or you're pissed off.
Yeah.
Even though you made the decision to purchase it, and I'm extremely transparent because I'm looking at you with it, and you're pointing out all this shit wrong with it, and then I'm saying, well, yeah, man,
It's a
that's
used
like
bike.
that.
It's a used bike.
It is what it is. And so finally, I mean, a lot of it was me just getting tired of fucking dealing with it, to be honest. But another part of me was, yeah, I absolutely felt like he wasn't buying the right bike, and he could go out and he might. It was a great deal on the bike, but he could go spend $1,000 more and get a bike exactly that fits him. And to me, $1,000 fucking worth it
Yeah.
if it's perfect. So
Cool.
yeah, man, I'm pretty transparent. I'm extremely honest, probably a little too honest, but
Yeah. I
that
know
is
that
what
feeling.
it is. So
Well, that's good business ethics, to be honest. That's the way I look at it.
business
Biz.
ethics.
If you guys don't get that reference, we can't be friends. Um, that was
Oh,
good. That was
shit.
that was really fun. We had 3 topics there. That was 30 minutes, dude.
The real answer, though, to is there a good time to buy a motorcycle, and the answer is whenever the fuck you want a motorcycle. That's when it's a good time.
That's right.
Yeah. So
That's right.
I wake up tomorrow and I go, hey, man, I want to buy a bike. Oh, it's a good fucking day. It's a good time. I'm gonna go buy that motherfucker.
I wanted to talk about Eric Buell and his
Oh
two.
shit, you do that.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that. You eat, man. You eat. You've been talking for 30 minutes. So guys, I want to talk real quick about. I'm gonna sit over here like this. I want to talk about Eric Buell. Something just came out. He unveiled 2 lightweight e-vehicles with his new urban mobility brand, Fuel, Fuell. It's Buell but with an F. So what he did is he created 2 bikes. It's called it's catchy. It's called Flow. I bought the bike called Flow, the Fuel Flow. It's really hard to read this. I'm reading from a website that electricmotorcycles.news, and they kind of made it sound weird. So an electric motorcycle available in 11 kilowatts. It's a 125cc equivalent, or a 35 kilowatt. Requires a motorcycle license. I mean, it's kind of hard to read. I'll post the link in the description on this one. And it says that it combines practical aspects for the urban journey, integrated 50-liter, 13-gallon internal storage. That I don't understand, because if it's an electric bike, it shouldn't have 13 gallons of anything.
Oh, storage.
Storage. Okay, that finally clicked. Thank you.
Fuck,
This
man.
is just sit back and just talk shit to me. That's all you're here for now. Eat and talk shit.
Okay.
Okay, so 13 gallons of storage. That's actually a lot. That's a lot of
Yeah.
storage. And then I guess it has really good low center of gravity, but the wheel itself is the motor. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pop it up on the screen. So what I do here, though, on these streams is that I take segments. I'm recording right now, and I take little segments of these, and it allows me to do all this stuff. But I'm actually going to post it on the screen so you guys can see what I'm talking about. That's the cool thing about doing this live and on the computer. All right, so 1 second. So yeah, it's a weird looking bike, just because. I mean, look at that thing. I'm gonna put it over Matt's head. So
Nice.
that's the bike. It's called the Flow. And Eric Buell, I really like his
They named this after the progressive lady, I think.
the Flow, progressive lady Flow. And so there's that bike, and that it's a 125cc. I mean, I guess all that is storage, and then that rear wheel has the electric motor in it. So I think that's pretty interesting. I mean, they usually don't have like a motor in the wheel. It's usually, I mean, the live wires, that big old hunk of crap, and it doesn't have anything like that. So I think that's pretty interesting. But so yeah, they came out with that. We're gonna make this a quick topic, but they came out with that, and then right here, let's put that over Matt's face again. That is the bicycle that they're coming out. It's called the Fluid. It's a robust and elegant electric bike with exceptional range, up to 125 miles, thanks to its 2 removable batteries. So that's pretty cool. Generous torque, 100 something. I don't know how to read that science crap. Virtually maintenance free with its carbon belt and internal hub gears. Fluid is offered as a pedalic max 20 miles per hour or S pedalic max 28 miles per hour, requiring helmet insurance in most states. So it looks pretty cool. The first bike, the actual motorcycle, is gonna be like 11 grand. The other bike's gonna be $3,300. This mountain bike looking thing. So it's pretty cool. 125 city miles for that little bike. I just want to talk about that real quick since that stuff kind of came out. But now we're gonna kind of open it up to the chat. Boom, boom, boom. You see how the chat's now right there? Just keep eating, Matt. I don't care. Shit's good. That's the whole point is we're just hanging out, bruh. So now we're opening up to the chat. I saw some questions about beginner bikes and stuff. I can't find it. So just keep asking again. But ask any questions, Matt. This is the time to ask Matt questions while he's eating so he can stop eating.
Oh, fuck. Cheers.
So ask us questions. Time to ask us questions. You can bust some fat wheelies on that e-bicycle. I think that bike is. I mean, Harley's coming out with an e-bike with their. I wonder if they're considering it part of their 50 models in 5 years. It's like, oh, we got an e-bike.
Absolutely.
That's ridiculous.
They are.
The beer looks better than what y'all been eating. Ah, baloney, bruh. What you talking about? Dewey? You don't know what you're talking about.
Dewey, my wife's gonna find you and probably fucking kill you. Good luck to you, mate.
Mondelo. So if I had, honestly, if I was gonna get an electric bike, I'd probably get like an actual electric bike, not a motorcycle. 'Cause I think that'd be fun, like an electric mountain bike that you can still pedal.
No, they make those,
Yeah.
and they're really cool. Yeah, I would. I think I'd have fun. I honestly would buy a motorcycle too, because it's a fucking blast, dude. They're so much fun to ride, and they're so wicked fast, and that's probably what I would do. They make who's making it? Is it Zero?
Zero's made
No, it's
Zero.
not Zero.
Well, Zero just they're coming out
No,
with
I
a lot
know
of good
Zero
bikes.
is. It might be somebody else, but there's like a wicked super sport. Like it's fast as hell.
It's wicked. I think I know what you're talking about. Last time we talked about electric bikes,
I don't
somebody
think it was Zero. It's somebody else.
somebody popped it up on the chat last time we were talking about electric bikes, and it was like 40 grand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one. And it's
Yeah.
amazing. And if I had money to burn, I would probably buy that because it looks cool and it probably runs really neat. And yeah.
Thank you, Lady Tao. Appreciate it. Yeah, Nikki's throwing some shade. Okay, so Jeffrey, there we go. What do you guys think about the Suzuki Boulevard M50 for a first bike? Do you know that one offhand? Because I usually have to always.
Oh, of course I know that one, Daniel.
All right, go ahead, whatever. Because I have to look it up every single time. Because I don't know my. That's the thing is like I know
So-
how to ride.
Shut up.
Matt doesn't, and
up.
he knows the bike. So go ahead.
So M50 is a 800cc motor. First bike wise, it's pretty good because your chassis and your body and stuff like that is probably a decent. It's a decent size enough to where you're not gonna feel like it's too small. Like
How does he know all this shit?
God, man, it's like it feels like a full size bike. It's crazy. So it's a good bike to start out on and get your feet wet. It doesn't have enough power to really kill you. You're not gonna like grab a ton of throttle and just be like, oh my God, it's too fast. So that's a good size for first bike. If the goal is to go to something heavier, like like a touring bike or something 800 poundish, big, that's a good one to do because it gets you used to having a lot of bike around you. But it's not enough motor to freak you out, and they're relatively inexpensive, so M50 is a good bike. That's a great starter bike if the goal is to get something larger. As far as weight goes. um, if you there's a lot of other smaller, agile, lightweight bikes that might be better. But if the ultimate goal is to get on something heavier and bigger, that's a great option because 800 cc's is that's a good entry level motor size wise. Like that bike, you park that in a parking lot. People don't look at it as, oh my God, it's too small. Like look at that tiny little bike. It's
Yeah.
actually got some size to it, and it looks like a normal human being's motorcycle.
Normal human being.
So yeah, that's a good call.
Nicholas Dubois, I can't find armored riding jeans in my size 28-32. Do you have any suggestions for lower body protection? One thing that you might have to do, and I had to do that with my jeans, I had to size up quite a bit. And I think they size it in terms of without armor. So when it goes down to the legs, my jeans got super tight. So I had to actually up it to like a size 34, and at the time I was a 30. So I mean, there's sometimes you have to adjust the waist size to make it so that the lower portion fits.
Can't you just have them tailored?
Or you can, yeah, and you can have it tailored. You can definitely have it tailored, but I mean, you have to have enough fabric, so you have to upsize it.
Right. So you
Yeah.
you size up and then have them tailored, and then you're good to go.
I just put on a nice belt.
Or that.
I could do that.
If you're a cheap fuck.
So you might have to do that. I ordered. I think when I did it, I ordered the appropriate size like I normally wear, and then it came in way too tight. Way too tight. I'm not fat, shut up. Yeah, I am. So Nicholas Kent asked earlier, if you started over right now and knowing what you know, so knowing what we know, what would your first bike be? You want to go first, or you want me to go first?
Is that back then or now? If I was starting like right now?
Like if you know everything you know now, like you were working up until now.
No, I understand that. Yeah. But is that like with the current motorcycles
Yeah,
available or the bikes available?
He's not going back in time. He's not going back in time to buy the shit that you would. Okay.
And it's not because I fucking sell them. I would buy a Scout because it's 1200 cc's and so was my Sportster, but it's almost double the horsepower. and it's the same damn money. So there's no chance that I would buy anything different.
You wouldn't buy a Sportster?
No way. It's the same money. Like I'd buy a Scout because it's so much more power. It's water cooled. We live in Arizona and that's extremely cool.
6 gear.
It's got a 6-speed. Fuck, man. Look at you, man, with your knowledge. I wasn't even gonna bring that up, man. Man, you're great. That was solid.
I help.
I would do a Scout. I would personally, but
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
For me, I'd stick with cruisers. Just 'cause I've ridden a few sport bikes, not much, but
I wouldn't buy a sport bike. That's not my life.
Yeah, it's not something that I want to do. But if I had to go over again, I'd look into dual sports. I think they're a lot of fun. I think for what I like to do, for the content wise, anyways, I'd go and get a dual sport. I really like the KLR 650 a lot.
No, you didn't.
I did, but if I had to spend the same amount of money I did on the Sportster for a dual sport, I mean, I'd get something roughly that size, maybe a Tiger, and then
Tiger's huge.
It's huge, but I mean, I'd get one of the smaller one.
Okay.
Or something. I don't know. I'd look into a dual sport just because I like to go off road, and then it's comfy. You can carry a lot.
Yeah.
But I think the best of both worlds is the FTR. I think you can't really go wrong with that.
I think FTR is too much bike for a first bike.
Oh yeah, first. Well, so was the 1200 that I bought.
No, it's like 68 horsepower.
Oh, that's true.
So you're wrong.
Oh yeah, they said first bike, huh? No, it didn't say first bike. Yeah.
FTR is 125 horsepower, and it's a 30.
So then I would.
It's like a 31.7-inch seat height. So
I couldn't do that.
It would be fucking gnarly for a first bike, man. I wouldn't recommend that one. But a regular Scout, I would.
Okay, yeah. So Scout or Scout 60 would be probably be
Scout 60 is great too. It's enough power. I just like, I'd probably go the big Scout route. And then I keep it for a long time.
Big Scout.
Big Scout.
Lady Tao's gonna add a Z125 Pro to her stable. Yeah, boy. Yeah. So you can tailor Kevlar, I think.
Poopy.
The thing is with
It's not a good starter bike, man.
Poopy, the FTR good starter bike. No. So he's saying no. I would like one.
I'd love to sell you one, but it's not a good starter bike.
I think with the jeans, the Kevlar, a lot of that is in the trunk, like in your butt, and then if depending on what kind of jeans you get, it's either just in the knee area or in the butt, just like mine. There's some jeans out there that have all the way through, but usually it's a combo blend of regular denim, heavyweight denim, and Kevlar. So depending on where you're gonna have to tailor it, I think it might be easy for the tailor. But yeah, you definitely want to find a tailor that can work with Kevlar. Because I think I asked one time, and you have to it's like a specialty, like working with like a high density stuff.
Sounds special.
Yeah. So Brent, shut up. Brent, Honda NC 700, absolutely love. You just bought it. Yeah, boy. I know every situation is different, but would you consider cruiser or sport bike more dangerous for a beginner? Now, the first thing that pops in my head is the power delivery, like how cruisers kind of more on the upper end. You know what I mean? Sport bikes, you just barely twist it, you can go crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, you explain more. Shut up.
No, I mean, you're right. You got to be pretty savvy. The different thing is that I mean, so from the cruiser aspect, you run into a torque issue. Like they still even if you barely crack the throttle, they have torque, and they'll move.
Not my Sportster when it was stock.
Yeah, I mean they still have some torque though. Like
Yeah.
if we're still kind of if we're looking at it from both ways, you still got to learn both sides of things. Where the sport bikes really run into an issue is that
Nachos.
if you keep fucking pulling the throttle, like then you're gonna do a wheelie and die. So, that's
You're going to do a wheelie and die.
So the sport bikes are so light and they're so powerful that it's just harder to make mistakes and be okay. You know what I mean? Like you can make a mistake on a sport bike and it'll flat out kill you immediately. Whereas you can make a mistake on a cruiser, to me, and you don't have as much like risk. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't take. You can hop out. You haven't ridden sport bikes, so if you hop out on like a super sport bike, like a nasty fucking machine, and you hit it, it'll get you tight. Like like you'll be nervous. Like it'll be and where you do that on a cruiser, there's it just seems like there's so much less room for mistakes on a sport bike than there's a cruiser, to me anyway.
I mean, you got a longer.
But you still have to learn both of them.
On a sport bike, the trail and everything, all those fancy terms are a little bit shorter, so it's easier to do the wheelie. And
Yeah.
You're heavier with cruisers and stuff. Yep. So cruisers are probably better for beginners because at the end of the day, you learn the clutch, you learn the throttle and all that stuff the same as a cruiser.
But that goes back to our video about beginners motorcycles where you can buy like the CBR 300 or Gixxer 250. It's weird. Fucking Suzuki waited 5 years to come out with an entry level bike, and then it's a 250cc when everyone else is doing 300s. They're fucking dumb as shit. Anyway, but yeah, you have Yamaha and Kawasaki. They're all doing 300. So if you're the sport bike guy, you like the sport bike style, you can do that, or you can do like the down-tuned 600cc versions. You know what I mean? Like with the not the super sports, but the entry level sport bike type feel, and then you start to get used to it that way. So you can't just say, hey, cruisers are going to be the way to go if you're scared as shit of dying. You could go both ways. But there's if you hop into the super sport market like the R6 or Gixxer 750 or the S1000RR, like if you go that route, you better be prepared because they'll absolutely kill you.
Yeah.
So
That'd be freaky as shit.
yeah, sure would.
I kind of like and not like watching those videos of people like getting on a bike and then like whiskey throttling it.
Oh, I love those
Yeah.
videos.
They go freaking crazy.
Those
Their
videos
legs
are
fly out
funny.
back, and then the wheel goes up. They're like, "Oh, this shit."
Yep.
Yeah. Anyways, I think it's funny. So everybody use V-Rod for cheap and use it for learn for month and trade in for a new bike once comfortable. V-Rods are pretty powerful.
V-Rods are really powerful.
Yeah.
That's probably, yeah, I mean, those are powerful bikes. Was that the first bike?
Yeah, this is his first bike, and then traded it in.
Man.
Bob Easy asked, "Are there any new helmets that catch your eye?" What about the Shoei? Is that the one that you're thinking right now? Yeah, the Shoei. Which one is? That's in Europe though, right? It's not in the U.S. yet.
Yeah, Shoei's making a helmet that's not available to the U.S. unless
Let's see if I can find it.
you
Keep
can
going.
get it. I guess I don't know.
Do you remember what it's called?
It's the EX
Zero.
Zero.
All right.
It's the X Zero,
So keep talking.
and
while
it's
I
like
pull it
a.
up.
It's almost got like a Bell Moto 3, like old school vibe, but has a drop down visor.
That looks
And
badass.
if you guys know old school helmets, the Bell Moto 3 was a full face helmet that almost looked like a dirt bike helmet. And this one has a drop down visor inside of
Boom.
it. And it
Whoa,
is,
a little bit too big.
it's my absolute favorite right now. And it's a Shoei, and Shoeis are, really great helmets. I love the look of it.
There we
And
go.
that's the one I'm going to do when I buy my next one. I love Bell. The Bell Bullet, to me, is like one of the most incredible looking helmets. It's really neat.
Yeah, I really like it.
And it saved my ass, like I'm alive here. So, to be completely honest with you, I was shocked after my accident
It held up.
that it held up enough.
That chin guard held up.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that was the one question that we had when we were wearing these helmets is we assumed that thing would rip off easy and we'd be fucked.
Yeah.
And it was really in good shape, and that makes me happy because I've been wearing Bell helmets since day one, and
Yeah.
I've loved them. So I like the Bell Bullet. My next helmet will be the Shoei. There is another full face helmet that I really, really like that I would love to own, and it's called the Ruby.
Oh, rubies are good.
And it's the Atelier or whatever the fuck foreign shit it
I'm
is
not even
because
gonna
I
look that
don't
one
know how
up.
to pronounce it. You should because it's dope.
Is that a 3/4?
No, it's a full face.
I know they make 3/4 helmets.
Yeah,
They have like
but the Ruby full
velvet
face,
lined and
yeah,
shit.
it's a fancy motherfucking helmet
a-
that only Indian owners should wear. But they, no man, it's awesome. It's such a cool helmet, and to me, that's one of my favorites. Yeah, so look up Ruby helmets.
Yeah, they're in
And,
Italy, right? Or
I don't know where the
some-
fuck they are,
they're
but they're
handcrafted.
yeah, they're
Yeah.
incredible, and they I think they I'm pretty sure they need you to fly out and go to the factory
Yeah, to get it to
so they
measure.
can shape you
Yeah.
properly so it fits you exactly.
I met somebody at the first 2014 DGR, and he had one, and I think he was talking about
Damn.
that.
Yeah. So I mean, when you spend $2,000 on a helmet, like it better fit properly.
Yeah,
but
better.
They like, I don't know if they fly you out or you have to fly. You probably have to pay
Yeah.
to fly it out if you really want one. But they like custom fit it to your noggin, and that one would be really neat to have. That one's cool.
But once this thing comes out,
I'm gonna get that one. That one's out in Europe, so if you guys are from Europe, I'd like to have one. So that'd be cool.
yeah. So send it out this way.
I mean, nachos.
Eat his nachos. So my helmet, the one that I like, I'm not as fancy as him. I pretty much go for utility.
No.
I don't go for looks, because I mean I obviously
a
have to have
Harley.
a what?
What?
So I have to put like an action camera on my helmet and all that stuff, and I got to make sure it's safe. So right now I have the helmet that I truly want, but if I had to get another one, there's one that you can custom make. I forgot I custom You can custom make it. I forgot what it's called. It's shit. That really messed it all up. It's a modular helmet, but you have to like unscrew certain things. Damn it! It was on the Cafe Racers website for a while. Remember that one where what are you hiding over there? You hiding over there? But I like the one that he talked about. This one right here. I like that, but it wouldn't work for me just because of I need a mic. I need the windproof, so when I do my stuff. And when I ride, I make sure I make videos. I hardly ever ride just to ride.
You should do that.
Just to ride, just to ride.
One of these days, you should ride just to ride.
Eh.
Maybe bring back your love for motorcycles.
I have love for motorcycles. That's why I'm doing this right now.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. Damn, what is it called? It's.
I really like the one that looks like I don't know who fucking makes it, but it's I used to follow him. I'll find it. Hold on.
Okay.
You keep talking.
All right. So to jump into the next thing, I completely forgot what it was called. I actually built it, and I was like doing all this work, and it came out to freaking like $1,500. I was like, nope. I had it cabby yellow and everything, and I made my own little things, and I put a 3 on the side as a full face. It was pretty cool.
So Bell's doing custom like helmets.
They are?
Yes, man. Remember I sent it to you and I said Dan poo poo man?
I don't remember. I don't pay attention to you.
Bell is doing custom helmets as far as like colors and paint jobs and shit like that, and you can put font in there. You can customize the hell out of them, and it's incredible. So go to the Bell helmet section or website.
Well, there's a Bell custom fit.
And then go to Bullet.
Oh, for bullets?
Just go to, I don't know. There's probably more helmets than that. But go to Bullet.
What the hell's the limiter? Oh, the limiter is that new helmet they got. Where it's kind of retro and they have like little holes, the 6 holes on the front.
Oh.
You ever seen that one?
No. Go to Bullet. So go down. Customize.
Oh shoot. So we're on the website for the Bell Bullet on Bell's website, bellhelmets.com.
No, go down.
And you can actually customize. Oh shoot.
So you can design a bunch of you could do different paint jobs, you could do a bunch of stuff. Those are all like designed and customized. So if you like the certain color scheme, like the bar at the bottom in orange, you can turn that color into something different.
It's really interesting.
Cool. Yeah. And it adds up. There's $1,500 helmets right here. If you wanted to customize the shit out of them. And you could do flake,
the helmet's $400, but the paintwork is $270.
Right, and that's cheap. You could do you could do a lot, and it'll add up.
That's really cool. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna play around with that.
Oh man, don't, because you'll spend hours.
Yeah,
that's how I spent one of my days at work. That was slow for a few hours building the shit out of helmets.
So we were on bellhelmets.com, and we were on a Bell Bullet, and you can actually customize the paint. That was pretty cool. Love your videos, but I hate that you never ride just to ride anymore because of the channel. I do. Sometimes I just shut the cameras off and I take them off and I just finish my ride, not doing stuff. But for the most part, like once you start doing something for work.
I also don't ride anymore, so if I rode, you'd probably ride way more.
Yeah. Yeah, because we'd actually ride for fun.
We'd go places and do things.
So you need to ride more.
Yeah.
So once I get the FTR, you can ride my Sportster.
Cool, man. You got a deposit. It's actually on the way.
Yeah, you need to give it back.
My deposit.
Mine. Let's see. Yeah. How late are you, Short Stack? You're pretty dang late, bro. Pretty dang late. We're 56 minutes into it. Holy crap.
Man. Yeah, way to be on time.
Yeah,
fucker.
we thank you for being here, though.
Yeah, man. Appreciate your tardiness. Yeah.
Good thing you got the hooligan kit. I made Amanda a moderator with Nikki.
Nice.
So both of them can kick you out.
Got that hooligan kit.
Hooligan.
Hooligan.
So we answered a bunch of questions. We talked about is there a good time to buy a motorcycle? We talked about, is it the end of the month, quotas, all that crap.
Quotas.
Budgeting for a motorcycle. And then we answered a question about, if there's a good deal, can you just walk away? Will you get pressured into making that deal? The way this stream works is that I'm currently recording the stream itself. So when I get home, I'm going to pull apart each one of those questions and I'm going to upload them as their own little sound bites, little highlights of the stream. So it'll probably be like 8-minute videos answering specific questions. So if you guys like the stuff that we're doing right here, please tell your friends. Tell everybody if they have questions about motorcycles. We got Matt. Obviously, he knows more than me when it comes to motorcycles. So
Pretty sure I know more than you.
You do, but
everything.
But no, not everything.
Everything.
Not everything.
Everything.
Do you know how to set up the live stream?
What?
What?
I have YouTube though. I have Dan the Fireman YouTube videos, and then I'll just learn. So, I don't need your ass for that.
Once we shut up, Matt. Once I get in the studio, it'll be a little bit different because we're gonna have like a really cool background and multiple cameras, so it's gonna be fun. This is something we plan on doing. This is number 4. You guys are part of number 4. Just wait, SOBC. Just wait. We're gonna have some fun stuff. But yeah, definitely we're gonna try to keep it at an hour. And especially like now since it's a little bit late for both of us. Some other days we might do it a little bit longer. But right now I think we're good, and we're gonna be heading out. And I just want to say thank you guys for first of all, don't bully me. Just kidding. I meant to be here earlier. I was excited got caught up talking to my mom. Love your videos though, Dan. Yeah, thanks, Short Stack. I appreciate it. I looked up the motorcycle school you teach at, but they're not in Phoenix.
They're in Phoenix now.
Yeah, Pablo Cruz, they are. RidersZoneMTC.com. They have Phoenix classes. Find out what they are. If there's not any classes that are up right now saying that you can sign up for, call them up. Call them up.
Those guys are great.
Yeah, Trina and Steve, they're amazing people. But yeah, we're gonna be heading out and just kind of relaxing. But thank you guys for stopping by. I appreciate it. You guys ride safe, Dan. We definitely need to come down to. There's a demo event, I think, right?
Cheers to you, Dan.
Do you know when the next demo event is?
Demo at Indian Motorcycle Tucson, April 12th and 13th. Oh, fuck. That's next month. Yeah, so April 12th and 13th. It's Friday and Saturday next month. Yeah, be there.
There you go.
Yeah, I'll be there.
And Dan, if you do make it down, there's also the DDFM Camp Out April 14th. So
Camp Out?
So we can do demo rides and then go to camping. So
Jeez.
Anyways, we'll be seeing you guys later. Hope you guys have a good day. Bye.